2026, Nintendo is going to change. Now, may this be a good thing or may this be a bad thing, but we're going to say farewell to Doug Bowser. Bowser will be leaving the Mushroom Kingdom, and this might be sad for some of you, but we gotta look forward with arms open and saying, Nintendo, what do you have for us? So, who's going to be taking Doug Bowser's place? Now, right now, Doug Bowser is actually the president and the CEO of Nintendo of America. So, Devion Pridgett is going to be taking over the president role of Nintendo of America, which is probably going to be more like interactive with the community. And then we're going to be seeing Shibata take over the more CEO style of role, so this is going to be more decisions, executive orders, and whatever the case may be. But is this really a good thing for Nintendo? Because Shibata is actually currently located in Nintendo of Japan. So is Japan trying to make Nintendo more of an outspoken Japan? All Nintendo is going to be nowadays is straight up Japan stuff. So whatever happens there is going to happen in Nintendo of America. It seems like ever since Iwata, Nintendo has actually become more of a business sort of thing. Like, instead of interacting with the community, their fans, and everything else, is more like, okay, we're gonna push this business. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. You don't want to see a failing business that, oh no, we're losing a whole bunch of sales and all this stuff. This is really a good thing. The Nintendo Switch 1, the Nintendo Switch 2 is really off to a good start underneath Furukawa. He's more like a businessman, but for that, it was Iwata that was pretty much more like a fun face for Nintendo. Now, he also worked for Nintendo of America, the CEO, I believe, while Reggie Fils-Aimé, another familiar face in the Nintendo world, was the president of Nintendo of America, and those two really set an embodiment for Nintendo. You saw Nintendo as the fun, goofy company that interacts with their fans, interacts with pretty much everyone. Reggie Fils-Aimé really did that really well, and Iwata was honestly there to support Reggie. These two were literally the dream duo for Nintendo, Nintendo of America, and even Nintendo as a whole. So now that we're seeing the shift from Doug Bowser, which you can say maybe Doug Bowser wasn't the best fit for the president. He didn't really interact with all the Nintendo fans. He just kind of put them down with some of his controversial takes over the years, like the recent one. If you can't afford a Nintendo Switch 2, well, buy a Nintendo Switch 1. And then they raise the prices on those. So very interesting topic here. But overall, it's something that you really got to look out to. Is it going to change Nintendo forever? Is Nintendo just going to be a straight business company and that's it? Because you definitely see that. You definitely see that right now, because it's not so much as interacting with the fans like maybe 2011, 2005, 2016. We saw so much of Reggie Fils-Aimé, we saw so much of Nintendo, and Nintendo actually did listen a lot to what the fans wanted and what they thought was perfect. But now we're seeing the shift underneath of Furukawa's role of Nintendo becoming more than just a gaming business. Movies and theme parks and a whole bunch of things, and turning what Nintendo once was into a full-fledged, just like, business empire. Now, we would have probably never seen a more powerful Nintendo Switch, something that can keep ahead with the competition. Like this Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2 can run so many games. It can run like Elden Ring, it can run some main AAA games, which probably we would have never seen if we would have stayed in the Goofy era. And honestly, I love the Goofy era. The Goofy era was definitely something special for Nintendo. Nintendo, when you look at it, is not necessarily a big game company that is like, okay, we're pushing power and that's about it. It's more like the Goofy thing, the family thing, hanging out with friends, and all of that stuff. Nintendo was definitely that. But now that it's turning into a more sinister industry that they're trying to push out, okay, business practice, business, we're not seeing so much of that. So hopefully the new president of Nintendo can bring some of that goofy greatness back that the company once had in 2000s, the early 2000s, or even a little bit later, which underneath Reggie Fils-Aimé that had that great. And Iwata definitely had such an impact on Nintendo, and it's sad to see that we're not seeing some of his things that he implemented in Nintendo. The fun, goofy Nintendo Directs, the fun, goofy animations, the fun, goofy just toys and everything associated with that. Now, the fun, goofy things are going to cost you an arm and a leg. Like amiibos, $50 amiibos, 40, so probably going to be seeing $60 amiibos, $80 games. Like, wowzers, that's a big jump from what we were used to back then. But now, could you say that this is a good thing or this is a bad thing? Because you gotta look at what happened through then. Like, we got so many fantastic games, and even things that we definitely would have necessarily thought would have existed, but of course, it definitely isn't the same as the interactive Nintendo, like we had Miiverse, like we had Mii Maker, and all of those things that really pushed Nintendo to the highest limit, the possible peaks that you can interact with pretty much anyone that you wanted. Nintendo is supposedly the company nowadays for fun and entertainment and amusement, but we haven't really seen Miiverse since the Wii U. So what is going on here? If Nintendo is supposedly the big interactive fun amusement of company, where is all the fun things, Nintendo? Right now we got a game chat that barely works because you have to sign into this thing. You can't have an account that is like a kid account. Let's just say that you didn't change your email or something. You can't have that. You have to put in your phone number for some reason. You have to put a whole bunch of things that really are counterintuitive to what you're trying to do. This is a family system. This is so much of that. But now we're seeing other games, which isn't a bad thing. We're seeing other games, more powerful games that are really, really great. And, you know, depending on what era you like of Nintendo, do you like it underneath Iwata's role? Do you like it underneath Furikawa's role? It's a very, very interesting thing, a very, very interesting topic, and I think from now on, we're probably going to see something change. Now, may it be just the exact same thing as we were used to seeing, but I think that it might be a little bit different. Now, maybe underneath Satoru Shibata, maybe we're going to be seeing more things. We're going to be CEO, which we're going to have to see. Doug Bowser definitely was a very interesting role because he was not only president of Nintendo of America, so he shows his face and goes to press releases and all those things, but also CEO of Nintendo of America. So now that we're seeing the split role, maybe we can get undivided attention in whatever role. So the president can actually interact with the community, the fan base, and instead of just having two roles and you're super focused in CEO and then you have to do some of this and you really maybe just don't feel like interacting with the community. That was one big part of Reggie Fils-Aimé's fame, for interacting with the community, interacting with pretty much everyone, going to press releases, being like pretty much happy. That happy guy that would really share things into his life. I think the biggest and the best things about Nintendo in that time was just sharing things from inside the company, but more in a light, delicate way, which was really nice to see. And Iwata definitely put in a big role with this because the company definitely felt more fun. So whatever you think about this, do you think that you'd rather have a more business-focused practice company that only cares about pushing out the best of the best and power and all of that stuff, but not interacting with the community? Or would you rather the fun, goofy Nintendo that once was Reggie Fils-Aimé and also Iwata? Now those people were so nice to Nintendo, making Nintendo honestly the best thing possible. What do you think about this? Consider to leave your comment in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. Hope that you consider hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. With that being said, see you in the next one.